Hello! Welcome to episode 15 of Create This Book 3 by Moriah Elizabeth and Ashleigh Monet. Hola, would be me. It's crazy. We only skipped a week of Create This Book, but it feels like it's been forever. I am so ready to get back into it. We have 4 prompts to tackle this week. But before we jump in, let's talk about alcohol markers. So I've used a lot of alcohol marker in this book, and I've been using a little no-name brand from Amazon since day 1. However, I've had serious issues with longevity. Here are some offending pages just in this book. My I Spy page, the victim of color fade. These little bits started as lavender and have faded to pretty much be the same as the pale pink. That's super annoying. And there's just this yellow blob. It's actually pigment that's seeping off of the green. Oh, chicken and waffles. This one didn't fade, but straight up had color change. This drumstick was made with the exact same colors as the chicken font. But once I painted on the reverse side of the page, the color changed to this crazy like neon orange. Also, the waffle bits were more yellow and those faded. Sad day. This one kills me. Power line. This one's not even that old, but again, the yellow faded on it. Bad. And this one was in the same video, and for reasons I can't explain because it's never happened with this green before, it has completely turned yellow. My community needs a new landscaper because the grass is dead now. I laugh because if I don't, I would cry. Anyways, I've been thinking for a while that I really owe it to myself and my art to upgrade, just invest in some better quality markers. And in trying to decide what to get, right away, I thought Ohuhu. They are everywhere. People really seem to love the Ohuhus. And I kind of thought to myself, well, I could go buy them, or I can try and use my platform to kind of benefit and see if they'd be willing to send me some markers. I was definitely hoping that they would notice my channel, send me a little email saying, hey, we'll send you some markers in exchange for a video. I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and they never noticed my channel, basically. So I decided to take a little initiative, grab the bull by the horns, and reach out to them. Just saying, hey, I really would love to try your markers. Would you be willing to send me some in exchange for a video? I mean, I figured it was a long shot, but the worst they're gonna say is no, or just ignore my email altogether. But time passed, and I kind of just assumed my email was rotting in a junk mail folder somewhere. So I just went ahead and bought this 48 marker Ohuhu set on Amazon. Lovely, right? Good colors. But wouldn't you know, the day these were delivered, Ohuhu wrote me back. Isn't that just how it goes? But they were kind enough to send me this 72 marker set, and luckily for me, out of all of these colors, none are duplicates from the set that I bought. So now between the 2 of them, I have a very sizable Ohuhu collection, and to celebrate, I'm gonna use these for every prompt in this episode. Moral of the story, if there's something you want, sometimes it's just easiest to ask. And if you've been working on manifesting some discounted Ohuhus, well, I have good news for you. If you shop on the Ohuhu site, which I'm gonna link down below, you can use the code Ashleigh10 for 10% off your order. Now, why pay full price if you don't have to? I can't wink, ever. It's a challenge. I'm just embarrassing myself at this point. But yeah, 10% off. That's awesome. So thank you, Ohuhu, for letting me play around with your markers. I am dying to see how these perform. So enough of me talking, let's jump right in and see what I can create. Okay, first prompt of the week. Create silliness. Describe how to do an everyday task, such as brushing your teeth, the wrong way. Okay, I knew exactly what to do for this one. See, there's something I do every day, and to me, it's the right way, but many people are very triggered by it. Putting on my shoes. Yes, I go 1 foot at a time, sock, shoe, then move on to the other foot, and sock, shoe. I guess most people would go sock, sock, shoe, shoe. And those people are militant in thinking that that is the proper way to do it. Personally, all of that switching back and forth feels like more effort, and I think my way is honestly more efficient. Nonetheless, I do acknowledge that I'm in the minority group with how I do it. I actually remember when we started dating, Cody made fun of me for it. And sure enough, a year into our relationship, Trey Kennedy, one of those famous comedy shorts creators, made a short about the signs of a psychopath. where he came after us sock shoe people. And even worse, he equated us with the people who add cereal to milk instead of milk to cereal. Blasphemy. Anyways, it's a running joke in our home now, and every time I put on my shoes, Cody has to say, sock shoe, that's what I do. So for this page, I thought it would be fun to draw the aspect of my method that I think is what triggers people the most about it. And that's the sensation of having one foot fully covered by sock and shoe, and the other just bare. Does this make you sock shoers uncomfortable? Okay, let's get this thing colored. All right, now for the other side, I just decided to work on my font skills with the sock shoe, that's what I do catchphrase. First, I just did some big blue block letters, then traced a thin line around each of the letters with a slightly darker blue, then added a drop shadow to them with the original blue. Can't lie, I had no good ideas for the that's what I do, so I just went with a simple default scripty font. Next, I cleaned up all of the white borders on the letters, and then I just had to add some juicy highlights to make them pop. Next was coloring the background a light blue to match the other side. It's worth noting I normally dislike using markers for backgrounds because it feels like that just blazes through the ink. And usually like one page in, it feels like your marker's already going dry. But this one was going strong the whole time, so that's very encouraging as far as their longevity. I did feel like the letters needed to stand out a little bit more, so I redid the outline in black, but my head got in the shot, so I scrapped all that footage. Time to glue them into the book. Beautiful! I actually really like this page. It's nothing profound, but I had a lot of fun with the drawing itself. So yeah. But now on to the next prompt. Create style. Come up with your own style for clothes, shoes, and/or accessories. So for this prompt, I thought it would be fun to do a want versus wear drawing, where one side is how I wish I could dress, and the other is how I actually do. For consistency, I made this little Ashleigh Monet fashion template. Yup, that's me. Traced it on both sides, and then I could just draw the clothes on top. Okay, let's start with the want side. The style I would rock if I could wear anything. I've mentioned before that I've always been obsessed with fancy dresses. We're talking evening gowns. They have been one of my favorite things ever since I was a young lass. And given the choice, I would choose to wear a fancy dress every day of my life if it were socially acceptable. Now, I know there's a bunch of you fun, free spirits out there watching and you're like,
forget social norms, wear what you want to wear, and just be you.
Oh, I really wish I could have that kind of mindset. Like, unfortunately, strangers staring at me is one of the things that makes me like the most uncomfortable. We're talking anxiety provoking. So needless to say, I would not be enjoying myself wearing a ball gown to the grocery store. I'd be panicking even if I feel like I look like $1,000,000 just because people are gonna stare. So alas, my inner princess remains repressed, but at least I get to draw her here. I went with a kind of flowy gown with a very lacy kind of sheer top, black of course. I'll be the first to admit that as I was drawing this, I was not impressed. It did not look great. This was 100% a trust the process moment though, because once I add the color, it really does come to life. Just you wait. see? You see? Wowzer, I love it. I want that dress in my closet. I want to wear it everywhere. But there's a whole other side to this page, and that is the wear side, what my style actually is. I want to make this little sign for the middle of the page just to make it clear what's happening here, and it's just going to straddle the spine, kind of splitting the pages. There. Simple, gets the job done. Now let's draw my usual style, and fair warning, it is much, much less impressive. 99.99999% of the time, you'll just find me in a hoodie and leggings. It's just what I've always liked. And who wouldn't? They're easy, they're comfy, they don't accentuate the fupa or the bra bulge. And my go-to shoes are my Chuck Taylors. They're timeless. That's 2 pages in a row with Chucks featured. That's all right though. I'll never get sick of drawing them. Just like I'll never get sick of wearing them. Well, that's done. Now let's add some color to this side. Done and done. Now let's cut them out and glue them into the book. I actually love how this came out. Obviously obsessed with the dressed up version of me, but I also like the comfort of everyday me. You know what? Both versions win. Moving right along to prompt number 3, create law. Write 3 laws you think would make the world more fun. So first I drew up this fancy little scroll. I could think of no better way to display these important decrees. I gave the scroll a header that read, "The Laws of Fun." And now I can start making my laws. Law number 1. Everybody gets freebies on their birthday. I want to draw a little picture to accompany each law, so for this one, I did a complimentary slice of birthday cake. And that is precisely what inspired this first law. I had my birthday last month, and growing up, it was pretty customary for all restaurants to gift a free dessert on your birthday. Well, gotta say, they don't really do that anymore. Maybe a select few, but for the most part, that's just not a thing. I certainly haven't gotten one in years. So naturally, when we went out for my birthday dinner at Outback Steakhouse, I had no expectations, but I was very pleasantly surprised when they gave me a free brownie a la mode to celebrate my special day. It really made the night so sweet, and it got me thinking, wouldn't birthdays be that much more fun if anywhere you went on your special day, you got a little freebie? It doesn't even have to be anything huge, just a free sticker. Something to acknowledge your birthday. It would just be so fun. So that is why my first law is that everyone gets birthday freebies. Law number 2. All medical offices must provide emotional support animals. Can you imagine how much more fun receiving healthcare would be with this law? Oh, your kids need their vaccines and they're having anxiety over it? Here, have them snuggle a fluffy bunny. Oh, you're pouring out your soul in your therapy session. How about we sit an adorable puppy next to you on that couch? You broke your leg and you're waiting for an x-ray? Well, a sweet little kitty will wait right here with you. For the picture, I just drew a fluffy ginger cat and she's got a little x-ray of her own. What a cutie. I actually had a lot of fun trying to capture that x-ray effect on this one. It's not perfect, but I'll keep working at that. But that takes us to law number 3. Monthly field trips are mandatory in the workplace. Now, I can't be the only one who thinks field trips are wasted on the youth of our nation. I mean, as a kid, I didn't really care when we went to the Celestial Seasonings Tea Factory. But today, oh my God, I'd be so stoked to go. Can you imagine having a rough week at work and then your boss just walks in and says, "Everybody drop everything, we're going to the pumpkin patch"? That would be so fun. Now for the picture, I decided to roll with that pumpkin patch idea, and I did a little pumpkin next to a little bale of hay. Maybe this concept spoke so loud to me because I'm so stinking ready for autumn already. Ready for that spooky season. I would absolutely go to the pumpkin patch today if I had the option. Well, the last order of business is to color in this scroll of all of my laws. I definitely put the Ohuhus to the test with this one. I played with texture. I worked on blending. I wanted this scroll to look dated and official. But I love how it ended up looking. Now, let's just cut all of these out and glue them into the book. Voila! I am super happy with how the page looks, but I also think I came up with some pretty fun laws here. Gave myself a pat on the back for creativity on this one. And now for the last prompt this week. Create a terrible smoothie. Invent a smoothie made from blending the grossest things you can think of. Yuck! List the recipe. Okay, I definitely considered making like a zombie smoothie here, blending a bunch of nasty body parts. It would have been very on brand for me. But one of the things I enjoy in prompts like these is finding out what foods the person that's making them genuinely doesn't like. There's always going to be something on their list of most hated foods that you actually love. And you're thinking to yourself, what? How could you not like that? So I'm just going to go ahead, stick to real normal foods that I personally think are gross. I'm going to start with the outline on this one. Just drawing a little like to-go smoothie cup and a blender surrounded with all of the ingredients that would go into the smoothie of my nightmares. I'm also going to fill the background with a big ol' splat of smoothie just spilling out from that blender. Now, some of my food choices might be obvious from just the line work, but some might not. Let's see if you can guess them all before we get to the coloring. Right out of the gate, the first thing on my list is mayonnaise. I truly hate mayonnaise. I will go out of my way to avoid using it for anything. Oh, is your sandwich dry? Ranch dressing. You need some sort of pasta or egg salad base? Use sour cream. Making homemade dressing? Use Greek yogurt. There's just no need for mayo to exist in my world. You may recognize this jar, but to avoid disparaging anyone's name, Nasty is the brand name of this mayo. At least they're honest. Next up, mushrooms. Yes, I love drawing and painting mushrooms, but I absolutely positively hate eating them. Anything with mushrooms, I've got to take them off. They're just flavorless wibble, like the texture of an olive, but without a nice flavor. I would say that maybe they gross me out so much because I know they're fungus and it just seems unnatural to eat such a thing. But then again, I don't have a mental block about cheese, so I guess it's just mushrooms. Let's talk cauliflower now. Ugh, I can't even. I'm sorry, but cauliflower tastes like fart-infused dirt. And people have the audacity to pretend that it's a suitable alternative to rice or potatoes. Boo-boo. The cauliflower steak, oh, shame on whoever came up with that. This would definitely be in my nightmare smoothie. Next, we've got another veggie, Brussels sprouts. Cabbage in general is iffy for me, but the baby cabbages, like what an odor they produce when being cooked. It's overwhelming. Who in the world smells that and thinks to themselves, I want that in my mouth? I'll tell you who, Cody. He loves them, and I have to force myself to cook them at least once a year just to appease him. My house stinks, and I have to slather them with balsamic, parmesan, and bacon bits just to make them edible. And they're still not good. I don't get it. Almonds. Oh, almonds. I dislike nuts in general, especially when they're thrown into desserts and mess up the texture. Like brownies, chocolate bars, ice cream. None of them should have nuts. And my least favorite of all nuts are almonds. I can tolerate some nuts on their own, like cashews or peanuts. I think I like the softer ones, but almonds are so crunchy. They're like little freaking rocks. I don't like them. Hard pass for me. I've mentioned this one before on my channel, mint chocolate chip ice cream. It's weird because I like mint, I love chocolate, and I like ice cream. So you would think that I would enjoy mint chip ice cream. But for whatever reason, when these flavors combine, I suddenly hate them. It's like each one brings out the worst flavor in the other. They're like a toxic relationship. Can mint and chocolate just break up already? And last, but certainly not least, as this is probably my strongest food aversion, fish. I hate fish and honestly most seafood. That smell that hits you when you walk past the seafood section in the market. Bleh. I chose to draw salmon just because despite my dislike for it, I do think it looks super pretty and appetizing. But it's all a bunch of foolery, I tell you. You know, when it comes to fish, I can tolerate a little tuna. Like I can say I love sushi because I do. It's one of my favorite things to eat. But in reality, the only sushi rolls I eat are tuna, chicken, or beef. So I don't know if that really counts. With all of the ingredients of my nightmare smoothie present and accounted for, the next step was to color the smoothie itself. All I knew was that I wanted to make it a very unappetizing color, but which one? Puke green from the veggies, brown from the almonds and mushrooms, a dingy pinky orange like the salmon, a dirty cream color like the mayo. How about all of the above? Yes, that's right. I could not decide, so I decided to go with all of them. Now that was definitely a test of Ohuhu's blendability, and let me say, they did not disappoint. Next, I added a bunch of shadows to give the smoothie cup and blender some depth. And now for my favorite part, the juicy highlights, and there were a lot of them. So enjoy the extended cut of the juicy highlight song. All right, time to glue it in. I love this page so much. It's my favorite of the week. I just love drawing food, even the ones I apparently don't like. Another episode down, let's go ahead and recap. We created Silliness. I had to tell you how to do a basic task the wrong way, which is allegedly how I put my shoes on. Sock shoe, that's what I do. Call it silly if you want, but I'm never gonna change. My way is the proper way. I loved the drawing, both the shoe and the foot. I feel so good about this one. We created Style, the style I wish I could rock, gorgeous gowns on the daily. But then we balanced it out with the style, or lack thereof, that I actually do rock, hoodies and leggings. I had fun getting to play fashion designer on this one, and if I'm honest, they're both appealing to me in different ways, so I guess I'll just be happy that I have comfy clothes on my back. We created Law, trying to turn the world into something that's a little more fun. Between birthday freebies, emotional support animals in medical settings, and field trips to break up the workday, this would be a world I definitely have much more fun living in. And I love the pictures I drew for this one, especially the little kitty x-ray. And lastly, we created a Terrible Smoothie, a concoction of all of my most dreaded foods: fish, almonds, Brussels sprouts, mushrooms, mayo, cauliflower, and mint chocolate chip ice cream. It sounds disgusting and it looks disgusting, so I think I've done my job. You'd have to pay me some big money to sip this smoothie. Fear Factor style. I love this drawing though, no lie. I think it was the best I did with the markers today. Definitely getting my techniques down. Love it, love it, love it. Well, that's a wrap on this episode. I had so much fun sticking to markers the whole time. Like, I am loving what I can create with them. I feel like as I get more and more practice, like the artwork looks more realistic, and markers are just so fast. I love that about them. I'm definitely looking forward to a nice long run with these Ohuhus. Again, thank you, Ohuhu. And if you want to snag some for yourself, use that code, Ashleigh10. 10% off, linked in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.